óriási megtiszteltetés ért engem néhány perccel ezelőtt, hiszen itt a Los Angeles-i Megyeházán többek között én is kaptam egy elismerő oklevelet. És ráadásul a mindenki által nagyon jó ismert Michael Antonovich supervisor kérésére mellette hallgattam meg az ünnepi beszédét, amit a Los Angeles-i TV is közvetített. Az egész delegáció nevében szeretném megköszönni Fran de Balog commissionernek az áldozatos munkáját, és azt, hogy itt lehettünk ezen a történelmi eseményen.
Today is a historic day. It's the 60th anniversary of the 1956 Hungarian Revolution. We're very proud to recognize those individuals who've been involved. Many of them were involved. Some had their family members involved. I know the strong support they had in our communities. This was the time when the streets of Budapest were filled with protesters to the Soviet Union's oppression and the Hungarian communist dictatorship. By boldly standing up to the might of the Soviet Union, the Hungarian people were briefly able to obtain freedom, However, this freedom was very short-lived. Soviet tanks came back into full force and crushed the aspirations of the Hungarian people. One of my longtime good friends was a young man, Steve Salvo, who lost both legs when a Russian tank ran over him. And he migrated to the United States, was quite active in Los Angeles County until he passed on. By recognizing the anniversary of the movement, we express our solidarity with the Hungarian freedom fighters who sought to improve their lives for their families. The county is also commemorating the Hungarian Revolution by raising the Hungarian national flag and the county's court flags and by hosting a poster exhibit on our second floor lobby of this building, which highlights some of those key events and heroes of that revolution. Today are members of the Hungarian Parliament, the Hungarian Diplomatic Corps, the Hungarian National Media, the Hungarian Freedom Fighters, and the Hungarian community leaders in Southern California. Now I'd like to have His Excellency, Consul General Thomas Celis, to say a few words at this time.
On behalf of the Hungarian government, member of the Hungarian Parliament, János Kalász, and my delegation, I would like to express my sincere thanks for the opportunity of being here with you, the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, in commemorating the 60th anniversary of the historic and courageous 1956 Hungarian Revolution.
Thank you for support of the revolution, for the anniversary of the revolution. God bless you guys, God bless you, America.
The revolution was suppressed. Approximately 200,000 Hungarians fled the country, 37,000 settled in the United States. Today, who were either freedom fighters or refugees, raise your hand. That's what we're here.
Good for you? Okay. Okay, over here. Can you restart? Can you turn? Oh. Okay, over here. 1, 2, and.
Nekem nagyon sokat jelent a forradalom. Azért, mert én átéltem. És mivel átéltem, szeretném átadni a fiataloknak a mi történelmünket, hogy ne feledjék el, nem csak a magyar fiataloknak, hanem én amerikai diákokat is tanítok a magyar történelemről és a magyar forradalomról. I am here to talk about my little country, Hungary. And as you can see, I am wearing the Hungarian colors, red, white, and green. I lived through this. You can't learn in a book. I lived through communism, I lived through the Hungarian Revolution. These stories will help you better understand my beautiful little country
and the tragic circumstances of our past, as well as our undying spirit to fight for freedom and justice. We gave to the world many famous people. We have 13 Nobel Prizes and 482 Olympic medals. The classical composer Franz Liszt, the Rubik Cube, Bela Bartok, Steven Spielberg, Professor Edward Teller, the father of the hydrogen bomb, Andrew Weiner, the movie producer who made Rambo, the Terminator, Adolf Zukor, founder of the Paramount Picture, Calvin Klein, Estee Lauder, Drew Barrymore, Adrian Brody, Tony Curtis, Jaja Gabor, Goldie Hawn, Bela Lugosi, William Shatner, John Westmuller, Paul Newman. We are a little country, but we contributed very much to this world. And Hungary lost 72% of her territory, 2/3 of our country. We lost it to Romania, Ukraine, Austria, Yugoslavia, and Czechoslovakia. In order for you to understand the magnitude of this, just imagine what would happen if you had lost 70% of your country. You would lose Hawaii, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Florida, Utah, Colorado, Oregon, Nevada. All this would be gone, wiped out of your life forever. How would you feel about that? Would that be an injustice? Yeah, that's how we felt. Imagine that foreigners would take over your place. The English language would be banned, and you would be discriminated against as unwanted minority in your own country. The Red Army liberated us, and they simply forgot to go home. We revolted against the oppression in October of 1956. This was a tactic of the communist government. Everybody spied on everybody. It was October, freezing cold in Budapest. And even children, little children, made Molotov cocktails and threw them on the Russian towns to blow them up. But most of them died there on the street. They were 8 years old, 12 years old children, and they were all fighting. The whole country was fighting. The radio station, Free Europe, promised us that help is on its way. The streets of Budapest was littered with thousands of bodies. This is why you should be thankful to live in a country where there is freedom. It is a beautiful gift. I wrote a song about that because I happen to be a songwriter also. Freedom should be never compromised. Freedom. I experienced the Hungarian Revolution. I was there when history was writing itself with blood on the streets of Budapest. We are a little country, but we contributed very much to this world. When you go out in life, strive for excellence. The place where we live now, Hungary, was called Pannonia. Later, it was occupied by the semi-nomadic Huns. Remember Attila the Hun? Yeah. How Hungary was recognized as a Catholic Apostolic Kingdom under St. Stephen in the year of 1000. We built lots of castles, strong stone castles, to defend the country against the second Mongolian invasion. Budapest is a very romantic city, so maybe one day you and your family will visit my beautiful little country. The revolution of 1848 brought many civil rights reforms. In 1914, the assassination in Sarajevo of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria, heir to the throne, and his beautiful wife Sophie, triggered the breaking out of World War I. And when the war was over, since Hungary was on the losing side, we got punished like no other country in history. We lost the entire Transylvania. Hungarians still live in fear in some occupied territories. Its beautiful snow-capped mountains, pine forests, and Dracula's castle. It hurts. Then came World War II, and the Hungarian government of Nicholas Horthy didn't allow the Nazis to deport and execute the Jewish people until 1944. My father had a tremendous integrity. He never joined the Nazis and he never joined the communists. He was very courageous because defying the system could have brought death to him and to us. Back to history. After 2 months of siege of Budapest, the Red Army liberated us and they simply forgot to go home. We were stuck with the Soviet occupation until we finally had enough, and we revolted against the oppression in October of 1956. This was a tactic of the communist government. Everybody spied on everybody. That's pretty smart, huh? This way they knew exactly what was going on. The revolution was crushed, and we lost. You guys, you are our future. In a few years, you might become leaders out there with power of decision and the possibility to inspire others. You may become role models. You may be able to change the world around you. So it is extremely important for you to understand now how freedom and the respect of each other is important in life. In 1989, finally the Iron Curtain fell down and we got what we wanted, freedom. I'd like to talk a little bit about the communism without trying to brainwash you or so that I would like you to have your own conclusion. I am just one person here, but I lived through it. And keep in mind that what you learn in books is very often different from what happens in real life. There are 3 main characteristics in communism. Number 1, all property is owned by the community, so there is no private ownership. No, another time the secret police is knocking at your door again, and whose house is this? Oh, this is my house. Okay, we're taking your house away. Well, wait a second. My grandparents worked their butt off to give me that house. In communism, everybody gets the same pay. There's no incentive, so why should you work hard? The production goes down, the quality goes down. This is not working. Fortunately, the Hungarian new generation grew up very healthy and very nice and good, decent people, because there is another factor in life, family and family values. So they learned that certain things were not good, even if people did it, and they learned that stealing from the state, actually, it's not the same thing than stealing from your best friend. Now the second point of communism is the distribution of income is to each is according to his or her needs. This put the state in charge of organizing every aspect of the economy. In other words, somebody who happens to be the state decides for you what to do, where to do it, when to do it, and how to do it. Number 3, communism is a classless social system. Before the communist regime, there were different classes who enjoyed different privileges. That's not right either. There were nobility, aristocrats, intellectuals and high functioners, middle-class people, and the working class, the blue-collar class. Communism formed his own class system for the communist political leaders. So here we go again, class systems is forming. This was a new kind of privileged people, a new kind of aristocracy, if you want, who ruled over everyone in the name of the people. Unfortunately, the new leaders, the new communist leaders who came up from nowhere, were unschooled, uneducated, incompetent people. Intellectuals and leaders from the previous regime were all in prison or labor camps. Restriction of personal freedom. Now, do you call that freedom? All this was under the Stalinistic regime, you have to understand that. Stalin was a cruel man. Stalin was a sadistic butcher. 60 million people were executed by this man. The right number is probably 20 million, but even 1,000, even 100 would be too much. Even one single life lost would be too much. You could not just go to the store and buy anything. For instance, meat was distributed on Saturdays. So a Friday night, we started to get in line, and families rotated. They brought chairs to sit by the butcher shop outdoors. We had to have special permission under the Stalin regime to go from one city to the other. You just couldn't, take off and go. There was paperwork to do. They wanted to know what was your business, why did you go there. So traveling was always a major problem. The healthcare system was broken down just as much as anything else. We left everything behind to the communists, and they gave us a passport to leave the country. But you have already a glimpse of what happens in the communist countries. We got out, we were happy, and we are very happy to live in a beautiful country. And I would like you guys to go out in life and be thankful for what you have.